the joint hearing of HHS, Health and Human Services, and Labor and Technology. With me is my co-chair, Senator Elefante, and Senator Lamasao, and hopefully we'll have the others soon. Okay, first up, meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we must abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business later on Friday, March 27, 2026 at 1 p.m., room 225, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. To facilitate this hearing in a timely manner, we will be enforcing a 1 minute. Anybody who's done HHS know I do 1 minute limit on testimony. I will be reading a list of individuals who submitted written testimony for each measure. We have apologized, the closed captioning does not accurately transcribe the names. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislature's website. You will find a link on the status page for the measure. We appreciate your understanding. Remind you that the committee does have your testimony. We reviewed them, so I encourage you to use your time to either add additional comments or you can stand on your written testimony. I do note that in the EDU-HHS following this joint, that we may have American Sign Language interpreter, in which case we will allow for more than 1 minute because I want the testifiers to testify slow enough for the ASL interpreter. Okay, but otherwise, 1 minute. HB 1541 relating to Department of Health. First up, we have for 1541. Okay, I'm just gonna, I don't have it. For 1541, when you find it, it is, first up, we have Department of Health in support. Come on up.
Hi, Chair, Vice Chairs. My name is Courtney Matsu, Deputy Director of Behavioral Health Administration, testifying in strong support of this bill to exempt certain positions in DDD and HSH from civil service. Due to the nature of these entities and the uniqueness of the positions, we respectfully ask for these positions to be exempt. Each position requires the training, experience, and knowledge that are very specific and cannot be appropriately recruited for or compensated under the current structure of the civil service system. Both DDD and HSH serve very vulnerable populations, and that's why we're looking for this exemption.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have HGA in opposition.
Chairs, Vice Chair, Nui Sebas for HGEA. We submitted testimony in opposition to this measure. Exempt employees, they're considered at will by the state. They don't go through any merit-based hiring. And furthermore, we've seen a significant increase in the use of exempt positions in state government. Over the past 6 years, there's been 600 positions or a 25% increase. This not only undermines our civil service system, but this measure itself further legitimizes an attempt by a department to work around DHERD and the civil service hiring process. Furthermore, while I'm not accusing this department of it, with this increase, more of our members in our union have less rights, which impacts our ability to advocate for our members. And we consider that union busting. We're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Aloha Independent Living Hawaii in support. Next, we have Annette Tashiro in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 1541? Members, any questions? Okay, co-chair.
Yeah, question for DOH, please. Thank you, and thank you for taking the time to meet with me on this measure. I know this is a priority for the department, but I have a few questions as it relates. You heard some of the testimony from HGA with some of these positions. Currently now, are these positions, what is the total amount of the positions, and is it currently funded in our budget?
Yes, the positions are all currently funded. I believe we have a total of 11 positions that we are requesting.
Okay, thank you for that. And then for some of the positions, have you worked with perhaps maybe some other agencies in terms of security or other agencies that you could work with and share responsibilities rather than having to create new positions?
Yes, we did look into it. Because at HSH, it's an acute care facility 24/7, and the patients are, the security and the protections that are needed for them are very specific, and the training required of the security personnel have to be trauma-focused and more patient-related than what would normally be occurring on the outside. So for that matter, at least right now, we feel that we would really want to pursue this exempt position status, but we are, for future purposes, long-term, would look at possibly moving them to civil service in the future.
Okay, and then the last question I have, Chair, is specific, and thank you, Doctor, for answering these questions. The last question I have is, how did DOH come up with this? Was this a result of something, or what's the reason for wanting these positions?
So particularly for the security positions and for investigators, we did have an unfortunate event that occurred a couple years ago, and this is the result of that in our efforts to try to really provide quality care for our patients and ensure that everybody's safe.
So it was
both
a
patients
recommendation
and staff.
from
Yes,
looking
from
at
the
the-
report to just ensure that we can continue to do a good job.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Matsu. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
Two things. Oh,
No, actually, you go first, and I'll jump in case you might ask my question already. So go ahead.
okay, well, I have questions for you and HGA. Okay, my understanding from that prior incident was with your predecessor, Marion Suji. I asked about the possibility of ACOs from PSD. And my understanding was there was discussions were made and it wasn't a good fit. Was that your understanding too? And that's the reason why you folks are
Yeah.
attempting to hire your own security rather than using.
Yes, and I think we're more treatment focused at our facility, and so in that regard, there's slight differences in the training that's needed.
Okay, even though it's a forensic psychiatric
Yes.
facility, which are criminal defendants, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question for HGA, and then you can ask.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
hang tight.
Okay, HGA, there is nothing preventing you folks from unionizing these exempt people, right?
So, Nui Sebas for HGEA. These employees would, at least some of them would, I believe, be part of our union already.
Already,
So,
okay. So
if-
there will be union protections for them, and if they choose to join the union, you're not gonna close your doors on them, right?
So if I can maybe just clarify, so exempt employees, although they're part of our union, we cannot grieve disciplinary action. So if they were to get suspended or
Oh, yeah,
terminated,
because they're
yeah,
at will. But other than the grievance procedure.
they are entitled to many of the other rights and benefits of the CBA if they're part of our union. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
you have a question?
This is
Co-Chair.
super fast. Okay.
To whom?
To Department of Health, but
Okay.
Department of Health, real fast. The positions have been funded for a while, but you haven't been able to fill them. Why not? Is it because of the descriptions from DHERD? Is it the price classifications, which have been brought up by HGEA?
We haven't been able to establish them. Yeah, right,
Why not?
because of the types of experience and training needed, it doesn't cleanly fit into what is
Couldn't
currently
you go to DHERD
available.
and get a redescription and also ask for them to increase the pay for these positions as well?
It would be a totally new category, I believe, because, well, if we're kind of restricted by what is currently in those different
I
classifications.
know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess some
And the pay scales
some
with
departments
that.
are going to DHERD to redescribe positions and ask for an increase in the position to address the fact that they're vacant and they can't hire anybody. These have been vacant for a
Yeah.
long time.
Can Joy help answer the question? Because I see her
She's
there.
like waiting to
Wanting
answer.
to answer.
Come on up, Joy.
Come on up. Because my understanding is the bottleneck is at DHERD in the reclassification. And because of the overcrowding at Hawaii State Hospital and the incidents, they need these positions filled sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Okay, but then,
Oh, no, I was just gonna say that that's sort of, in Dr. Matsu's testimony, when she spoke to long-term potentially being able to move these positions over to civil service, that's kind of the idea, is that would being able to exempt these positions now would allow us to recruit and hire now while we're able to work with DHERD in however long that process takes to be able to establish those new classes, if that's the direction that the department and DHERD choose to go.
If DHERD were gone and you had your own HR department, would this problem exist or not? Yes or no?
Ask our HR guy.
they're not gonna go against
Okay,
the
well, I think I already know
legislation.
my answer by then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, any other questions on 1541? Okay, moving on. HB 2315, relating to state employee benefits. First up, we have Department of Health in support. They're just walking away, somebody else, okay.
Hi, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. My name is Bobby Robinson. I'm the DHRO of the Department of Health, and I'm here to testify in strong support of this bill.
Okay, and
stand
you're
on
resting your
testimony.
written testimony?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we have UPW in support, Kamakana Kaimuloa. Okay, UPW is not here. Kaunawi Sabas, HGA. Thank you very much. Keith DeMello, Workforce Development Council in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2315? Members, any questions? Okay, none. Now to LBT.
Okay, thank you, Madam Co-Chair. Our next item and our last item on our agenda is House Bill 1782, House Draft 3. This is relating to artificial intelligence for the protection of minors. First up on our list of registered testifiers is Raji Tolentino, DCCA, or representative. And followed by the Attorney General's office. Aloha, welcome.
Hi. Good afternoon, chairs, vice chair, members of the committees. I'm Raji Tolentino with the Office of Consumer Protection. I'd like to comment on the data minimization language in the bill. We agree that data minimization is an important issue, but we think it may be better addressed outside of this measure. Privacy laws and laws regulating chatbot behavior are related, but they are really trying to do two different things. Privacy laws generally deal with what information a business can collect, keep, or use. This bill, by contrast, focuses on how these systems interact with minors and how to reduce the risk of harm from these interactions. Putting both these issues into one bill may create confusion for businesses, regulators, and enforcement agencies like our office. In our view, it would be cleaner to keep this bill focused on protections for minors. So if this bill passes or moves forward, we respectfully ask that the data minimization provisions be removed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raji. Ashley Tanaka, Deputy Attorney General. Aloha, welcome.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chair, members of the committee. Ashley Tanaka, Deputy Attorney General. We did submit written testimony providing comments just regarding two areas of the bill. One regarding the use of the phrase material risk of harm as it appears in two sections with suggested amendments, as well as we suggested adding a severability provision towards the end of the bill. Available for questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Tia Hartstock, Office of Wellness and Resilience. Okay, standing on testimony support, thank you. Jai Simaha, did I say that correctly on Zoom? I'm sorry if I got that wrong.
No problem. My name's Jay Jessima, Chair and members of the committee. I'm testifying in support of House Bill 1782. I'm the founder of Transparency Coalition. We're an independent nonprofit which advocates for increased transparency and accountability in generative AI. I have 30 years of tech industry experience as a CEO and executive in multiple AI technology companies and have a PhD from the University of Washington. We've been working with lawmakers in over 20 states that have already that are in the process of passing laws very similar to House Bill 1782. I'm also very pleased to report that yesterday the governor of Washington signed a bill very similar to 1782 into law. Since we only have a minute, I'm just going to hit a few themes that we are really excited about. One is the requirements for transparency and disclosure in the bill, the prohibitions on emotional manipulation of minors, the requirements that chatbot developers implement a protocol for responding to suicidal ideation, and requirements to provide parental controls. On the topic of enforcement, I just want to highlight the importance of the private right of action. It's an important regulatory tool, and in my
Thank you,
experience-
Jay. We do have your written testimony. I'm sorry. Thank
you.
you. Okay, next up is Dave Erdman from the Retail Merchants of Hawaii.
Good afternoon. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. My name is Dave Erdman from the Retail Merchants of Hawaii. We appreciate the intent of HB 1782, HD3, to protect minors. We respectfully request continued clarity that routine retail customer service AI tools are not unintentionally captured, as they are task-specific and not designed to create emotional relationships. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Okay, next up is Mike Tobin on Zoom. Aloha, welcome.
Aloha, chairs and members of the committee. My name is Mick Tobin. I am 23 years old and the co-founder of the Young People's Alliance, a youth-led bipartisan organization representing 2,800 students across 72 campuses nationally. YPA strongly supports HB 1782, and I recently traveled to Honolulu 2 weeks ago to testify in support of it in the House in person. This bill limits manipulative design techniques that foster emotional dependence and romantic relationships, sets clear definitions that don't exempt big tech companies from accountability, and allows families to hold chatbot companies accountable through a private right of action. These are all protections that are also included in Washington's AI bill that Jai mentioned, which was signed into law yesterday. I urge you all to preserve these core elements of HB 1782 and to not allow proposed amendments to strip or narrow these provisions, as weakening these core protections would fail to protect Hawaii's Kiki and families and signal to other states that weaker standards are acceptable. Big tech has slowed social media regulation for years at the expense of my generation's mental health. They're likely trying to do the same with AI chatbots nationally now, and maybe with proposed amendments to HB 1782. HB 1782 has already passed the House, 3 committees in the House, and I urge you to please pass it here as well. Please stand for Hawaii's Kiki and families, not big tech. Thank you.
Thank you, Mick, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name earlier. Next up is Brenna Lesser.
Hi, my name is Brenna Leeser. I serve as Tech Policy Advisor for Common Sense Media, and I'm testifying in support of the measure. Our research found that 72% of teens have already used AI companions, with 30% preferring to engage with AI companions as more or more than humans. Our testing also found that these bots have encouraged teens to drop out of school, run away from home, and use drugs. They've also reinforced psychosis and delusions and shared instructions for making napalm. Recent research also found that 8 in 10 AI chatbots were regularly willing to assist users in planning violent attacks, including school shootings, religious bombings, and high-profile assassinations. A narrow focus on self-harm and sexual outputs would miss these. Disclosures and mental health redirects are useful floors, but they are not enough. Guardrails that perform well in internal testing are known to break down in longer, real-life conversations and do nothing to prevent the exploitative relationships that lead to harm. The requirements in HB 1782 will constrain innovation. They'll prevent the proliferation of these harmful products. I urge your support.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Ian Corby, Executive Director for Age Verification Providers Association on Zoom.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ian Corby. As you said, we've done over 1 billion age checks globally using a variety of different methods. And I'm here to answer your questions really about the ability to do online age verification completely anonymously using zero knowledge proofs. Sometimes the checks are done entirely on your own device. We also have the ability to do interoperable age checks. So having proven your age once for one purpose, you can use it for multiple other purposes. I think it's important the operators remain accountable for this. We can't just rely on, for example, App Store age checks, because people do access AI through multiple different channels, not just through an App Store. We have an international standard ISO 27566 that the technology can be certified to make sure we can be confident that it protects your data security and your privacy. And we are innovating all the time. And one thing I like about the bill is it's technically neutral. It allows us to use multiple methods like how you move your fingers, facial age estimation, or just resorting to a piece of ID. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the other person that's registered to testify is Brianna Harmon in support on Zoom.
Not present, Chair.
Okay, thank you. That completes the list of registered testifiers. Anyone else on House Bill 1718, House Draft 3? Okay, if not, members, any questions? Okay,
May we proceed with decision making?
yeah, you can.
Okay.
We'll wait to see if we can get a quorum. If not, then we will roll over to one of our other agendas, but you can go ahead.
Yes, because we have EDU next. Okay, thank you very
We
much.
have quorum.
You have quorum,
Yep.
good. So for decision making, for 1541, HB 1541, Chair's recommendation is to move this along past with a different effective date of January 1, 2050. I urge HGA to give us proposed language to move these exempt positions to civil service, hopefully by conference, because we do see the need for it. Other than that, pass with amendments. Any comments, questions, concerns?
Are you voting on this one because of what I said?
I understand. Any comments, other than the WR? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote. Chair votes aye.
First time for everything, right? Okay, recommendation on 1541, House Draft 2 is the Senate Draft 1. Let's see, noting the presence of all members except for Senator Keopohole. Are there any WRs besides myself or none? Seeing none, your recommendation has been adopted.
Okay, thank you for the Committee on Labor and Technology. Same recommendation as HHS to pass with amendments. Any further discussion? If not, Vice Chair Lamasao for the vote. Chair votes aye.
Okay, members, we're voting on HB 1541 HD2. Recommendation of the chair is to pass with amendments, noting the excused absence of Senator Ihara and also Senator Moriwaki. Anyone present wanting to vote with reservations or no? Hearing none, Chair, your measure is adopted.
Thank you.
So for HB 2315, Chair's recommendation is to pass with only one amendment, and that is to change the defective date into an effective date of upon approval. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote. Chair votes aye. 2315.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Dirty. Anyway, go. Okay, recommendation on 2315, House Draft 1 is a Senate draft, noting the excused members from earlier. Any WRs or no's? Seeing none, recommendation has been adopted.
Okay, for the Committee on Labor and Technology, same recommendation as HHS to pass with amendments. Any further discussion? If not, Vice Chair Lamasao for the vote. Chair votes aye.
For the same measure, anyone present from Labor and Technology wanting to vote with reservations or no? Hearing none, Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. And our last item on our agenda is House Bill 1782, House Draft 3. This is relating to artificial intelligence for the protection of minors. Recommendation here is to pass with amendments. We're going to accept and adopt the proposed amendments from the Department of Commerce and Consumer Protection. We're also going to accept and adopt the proposed amendments from the Attorney General's office in their testimony. We're going to accept and adopt the proposed amendments from Charter Communications. We're also going to accept and adopt the proposed amendments from CTIA, which is the following. That's contained in their testimony, I should say. And then we're also going to defect the date to January 1st, 2077. And that's it. Any further discussion, comments, questions, or concerns? Oh, we just lost quorum on our end.
Okay. Okay, so,
Well,
we defer decision making for LBT till
yes.
later?
For this one, for the Committee on Labor and Technology, let's see if you, I don't think. Okay. Well, for this one, I know there's another committee after this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna roll over. Oh, we are not gonna roll over. Yeah. We now have quorum. Thank you, Senator Favela. Okay. I just read, Senator Favela, would you like me to reread the proposed amendments? Okay, so I just read them out. So basically, we're gonna just pass it, accepting those amendments as I just previously shared, and then defecting the date to January 1st, 2077. Any further discussion, comments, or concerns? Okay, if not, Vice Chair Lamasao for the vote. Chair votes aye.
Okay, members, we're voting on HB 1782 HD3. Recommendation of the chair is to pass with amendments. Anyone present wanting to vote with reservations or no? Hearing none, Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
So for HHS, same recommendation, pass with amendments. Vice Chair for the vote. Chair
Okay,
votes aye.
recommendation 1782, House Draft 3 is a Senate Draft 1, noting the presence of all members. Are there any WRs besides myself or no? Seeing none, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. And that joint hearing is adjourned, but we are still rolling over to the EDU-HHS hearing next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm like,
14 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Go, it's all you, Donna. It's all you. Go ahead. I don't think we need to do another countdown, do we? Rick? Okay, please proceed. EDU,
Okay.
1574, repayment.
Are we on?
Yes, you're on.
But we have to start.
No, not according to Rick. We're on.
Okay, so welcome everyone. We are on the Committee on Education jointly with the Committee on Health and Human Services. We are on the 110 agenda. It is 124 in room 225. Today is March 25th, Wednesday. First item on the agenda is House Bill 1574 relating to healthcare education loan repayment program, formally codifies the healthcare education loan repayment program, requires a participant in the healthcare education loan repayment program who receives a new award on or after July 1, 2027 to remain and work in the state for a certain number of years based on the amount of financial assistance received. First person to testify is Lee Buenconsejo Lam. Aloha.
Chair, Vice Chairs, Committee members. Lee Buenconsejo Lam, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at JABSOM, here to stand on our support. Thank you.
Thank
Available for
you.
questions.
We have Paula Doan for John or Jack Lewin.
Hi.
You're not Paula?
Good afternoon. I'm Terry Vesperis on behalf of Dr. Jack Lewin with the SHPTA. We'd like to stand strongly on our testimony with comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. McKenna Woodward.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chairs, and members of the committees. McKenna Woodward, on behalf of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, will stand on our written testimony and support today. Mahalo.
Thank you. Jonathan Ching for Kaiser Permanente and support. Not here. Let's see, we had 28 people that sent in testimonies, all in support, none opposing. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure whose name I didn't call? Hearing none. Members, we are open to questions.
None.
Any questions? Hearing no questions, okay, we are moving on to House Bill 1894, House Draft 1. This requires the Department of Education to include instruction of Braille and provision of Braille instructional material under certain circumstances, provide Braille literacy support services in cooperative with the Department of Human Services when requested to submit information necessary to maintain a register of blind in the state. I believe we've had a Senate bill that we heard. This is a companion bill, starting with Keith Hayashi testifying for DOE. Aloha.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Kina'u Gardner on behalf of the Department of Education. We stand on our written testimony in support of this measure.
Okay, thank you. James Gasho for National Federation of Blind of Hawaii.
Yeah, hi, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. I'm just going to stand on my written testimony for National Federation of Blind of Hawaii and thanking the Department of Education and other supporters for their help on this bill.
Thank you. Donald Sakamoto on Zoom. Donald.
Hello, Chairs, Vice Chairs. This is Don Sakamoto. To support the bill. We had on my testimony, we had a representative named Terrence Tom back in the days. He was a student, and he was able to read Braille and Braille. So this is very important for our students right now. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Representative used to be my neighbor in the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
He used to chase me around his desk. Good memories. Eric Mitchell on Zoom.
Not
Eric?
present, Chair.
Okay. Virgil Stinnett, also on Zoom.
Also not present, Chair.
Okay. Anyone else here wishing to testify on this measure? You know, I just got to say this. I remember Terrence Tom. He used to carry his little typewriter, Braille typewriter, and you could always hear him. And he was amazing. So.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and he had all of the bills.
And he could still sing.
Yes, and he could play the piano and sing. Amazing person.
He is amazing.
Anyway, okay, anyone else wishing to testify? None. Members, any questions? Hearing no questions, moving right on to our final measure jointly, House Bill 2159, House Draft 2, relating to healthcare workforce development. And this establishes positions and appropriate funds to the University of Hawaii to support healthcare workforce development in the state. We have Paula Doan.
Paula Doan, but good afternoon, chairs. Hi, I'm Terry Vesperis for Dr. Jack Lewin, Administrator for SHPTA. We'd like to stand strongly on our written testimony for support. Thank you.
Thank you. Samuel Shoemaker, University of Hawaii.
Aloha, chairs, vice chairs, members, Sam Shoemaker, Dean of JABSOM. I will stand in support on my written testimony and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Rachel Wilkinson.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chair, and members of the committees. Rachel Wilkinson on behalf of the Hawaii Association of Health Plans, and we'll stand on our written testimony and support.
Thank you. Corey Sanders. Person not here. We had 21 sending in support. Anyone else wishing to testify on House Bill 2159? Hearing none. Members, any questions? No questions? Okay, no questions. We'll go right into decision making.
Do you have quorum? I have quorum. Shall we read?
I need one more.
So can we do the DM for HHS?
I can roll it over to.
It got
Yeah,
exciting.
we can, yes, so,
Okay.
so,
Gonna
you just announced a
Announce.
decision, and for HHS, we'll vote.
Okay, so the recommendation by both chairs is that on House Bill 1574 relating to the Education Loan Repayment Program, that we defect the effective date to July 1, 2055, July 31st, 2055. And no other amendments. Okay, for eight.
Wait a second, so for HHS, co-chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments, so is HHS chair's recommendation. Pass with amendments, chair votes aye, vice chair.
Okay, 1574 House Draft 2 recommendation is Senate Draft 1 noting the excuse.
We have,
Senator Pavella and EWR, seeing none, recommendation adopted.
and we can go back to EDU, you have quorum now.
Oh, okay, very good. And the recommendation for EDU, House Bill 1574, House Draft 2, to amend to an SD1 with an defective date of July 31, 2055. Any questions, any discussion? Hearing none, chair votes aye.
And that was July 31st.
July 31st, 2055.
All right. HB 1574 HD2, Chair recommendation passed with amendment. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair is excused. Senator Fukunaga is excused. I vote aye. Senator DeCourt.
Aye.
Chair recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And for House Bill 1894, this is the Braille instructional material. The recommendation is to defect the date also to July 31, 2055. It already has a blank appropriation in it, and any non-substantive amendments for clarity and consistency. Any discussion? Hearing none, chair votes aye.
HB 1894, Chair's recommendation passed with amendment. Chair votes aye, noting the excuse of Senator Kidani and Fukunaga. Any members with reservations? Any members voting no? Without others voting aye, recommendations adopted.
Thank you very much. For HHS, same recommendation, chair votes aye, vice chair for the vote.
1894 House Draft 1 recommendation is Senate Draft noting presence of all members and EWR no, seeing none, recommendation adopted.
Thank you. For House Bill 2159, this is relating to the healthcare workforce development. Recommendation is to defect the date to July 31, 2055. It already contains blank number of FTE positions, and the money is also blanked out. Members, any questions, any discussion? Hearing none, chair votes aye.
Members, HB 2159, Chair's recommendation passed with amendment. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair and Senator Fukunaga is excused. Any members voting with reservations or no? Without others voting aye, recommendations adopted.
So for HHS, same recommendation, vice chair for the vote.
2159 House Draft 2 recommendation is Senate Draft knowing the presence of all members of the committees and EWR no, seeing none, recommendation adopted.
And with that, we are adjourned pending AEN. Good afternoon. We're calling the 140 calendar for the HHS calendar, Health Human Services, on Wednesday, March 25th. Present with me is my Vice Chair, Senator McKelvey, and also Senator Keoho Kolole. This meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we must abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business later at 1 p.m. Friday, March 27 in room 225, and a public notice will be posted on the legislator's website. To facilitate this hearing in a timely manner, we will be enforcing a lax 1 minute limit on testimony, and it's lax because we have a American Sign Language interpreter. So we request those who are testifying to enunciate. If, however, you can stand on your written testimony, please do so, because we are also having another hearing after this. So thank you very much. We appreciate your understanding. Remind you the committee does have your testimony. I apologize again if the closed captioning does not accurately transcribe the names. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislator's website. You'll find a link on the status page. First up, HB 469 relating to parking for disabled persons. First up, we have Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities, Dainty Bartolidis, in support.
We'll stand on testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have DCAB, Disability and Communication Access Board, Christine Pagano, in support.
Hello, Chair and Vice Chair. I'm Brian McCare on behalf of DCAB and Executive Director Christine Pagano in support of this bill. The purpose of this bill is to allow someone who only has one long-term placard and cannot or does not want to have special license plates to obtain a limited duration travel placard. This prevents the person from having to choose between using their existing placard at their departure location or taking it with them for use at their destination. While people traveling for pleasure would benefit from this, it will be especially valuable for people who have to travel for medical treatment, including families with children. We have asked for a small amendment to clarify that someone with a long-term removable windshield placard or a disabled paid parking exemption permit is eligible for this travel placard, as both of those permittee types are restricted to one placard currently. And to add, proviso though that this is contingent upon them not being issued special license plates. So someone that has special license plate would not need a travel placard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, again, be aware of the ASL. So I understand that I have trained you folks to speak very fast, but because we have an ASL interpreter, please enunciate and you can speak slower. Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Aloha Independent Living Hawaii in support. Okay, Hawaii Disability Rights Center, Louis Urchuk in support, standing on your written testimony. Thank you. Johnny Perry in support. Jackie Keefe in support. Lila Mower in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 469? Members, any questions? Okay, moving on. Next, we have HB 2488 relating to Disability and Communications Access Board. First up, we have Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities, Dainty Bartolidis, in support.
We'll stand on testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, DCAB in support. This is your bill. Come on up. Yes, you can look directly to the ASL. Can someone interpret? We need someone who is interpreting ASL into English for the rest of us.
Yes, we will be doing that. Go right ahead.
Thank you.
I can
Please
see you.
proceed.
Saying hi, do you see me clearly? And the interpreter saying yes. We need him a little bit closer for fingers. So yes, perfect.
And you need to
Thank you.
identify yourself even though we know who you are.
Yes, hello. My name is Pono. I'm from Disability and Communication Access Board. I'm representing Christine Pagano today. So we are here to stand in support of this bill, and we will stand. And we will stand on our written. Sorry, and we will stand on our written testimony. But I can't hear. Sorry, say again, the speaker? The interpreter couldn't hear the speaker?
Tokioka. That's okay. We know you're Pono Tokioka, so please proceed. Yes, this is Pono Tokioka. So I know he's Pono Tokioka, but we need the record to reflect he's Pono Tokioka. So please proceed. I'm sorry, Pono, please testify. Are you done? Are you standing on your written testimony? Pono? I did not mean to interrupt you, but we want to make sure everyone knows this is.
Yes, I am
Director
standing on my
Tokioka's
written
son.
testimony.
Thank
Can you hear the interpreter?
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, standing on your written testimony. Next up, we have Dr. Lewin Shipta in support. You're not Dr. Lewin. but
I am not
Terry.
Dr. Lewin. Good afternoon. I'm Terry Vesperis with Dr. Lewin, Administrator for SHPTA. We stand in strong support of our written testimony. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Louis Urchik, Hawaii Disability Rights Center in support. Thank you very much. Eleanor McDonald, Deaf and Blind Task Force in support. Leland Brady, Aloha Independent Living Hawaii in support. Peter Fritz, are you present on Zoom? Please proceed.
Yes, I am.
Support.
I am present.
Please proceed.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Peter Fritz. At a Deaf and Blind Task Force meeting, people described repeated communication failures at healthcare facilities. Not one person filed a formal grievance. That is a gap that this bill should also address. The legal framework already exists, and if I need to slow down, please tell me. Hospitals are required to respond to grievances that are filed. A pattern of complaints can trigger a Health and Human Services HHS Office of Civil Rights Investigation OCR, and that investigation can put federal funding at risk. Hospitals are aware and respond to this risk. My written testimony details a two-step process. File with the facility first, and then file with the HHS OCR if it's unresolved. One grievance I filed changed how a hospital treated me on my very next admission. My testimony suggests using AI to break writer's block to help patients draft a formal complaint. Human assistance in drafting complaints is limited. AI is accessible now to anyone with a computer. The patient
Peter.
describes what happens. AI produces a
Peter.
formal letter produced on those facts.
Thank you very much, Peter. We have your written testimony. It was very, very detailed as to what is needed. Thank you very much. Okay, next up, we have Johnny May Perry in support, Lila Mower in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2488? Members, any questions? Okay, moving on. HB 2009 relating to family caregiver support. First up, Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities, Daintree Bartolodis, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. Daintree Bartolodis, Executive Director for the Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities.
Thank you.
We have comments to make. When this bill first came out, we were really excited about it. However, we've learned that it's in the wrong place. You cannot add another category to a federal law unless the state wants to pay for it 100%, which I don't think we do. We also have learned a lot about boards and working with different boards. And we really feel that this bill, we could combine with Department of Human Services and HDRC. We could just get together and discuss this and talk about it. We facilitate a board called Community Supports, and this could fit perfectly in there. And I think we could do that and collaborate and fix this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next, Louis Urchik, Hawaii Disability Rights Center in support.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Senator. Yes, I want to talk about it. That's why I'm here, right? There's three distinct issues here. The first one about the child care subsidy is a legitimate concern because I think the intent is that if you're out of the house, you're working, you're in school, somebody's got to watch your kid. But if you're a parent with a disability, you may be there, but you're not like fully there, right? And so you still need some care. So it's a legit issue. But I understand you can't use state dollars, so we got to figure out something on that. The assumption of parental ability is also a legitimate issue. You can't say, well, you're the mother, you should do this, but it's like, I'm disabled, I can't do it. they need to be able to address that. And then finally, those level of care assessments, we get these cases in our office all the time, and it's not even just in this area where this whole argument about you're not disabled enough to get the services, you don't need as much, and our client says, yes, I do. So we got a lot to work on, and I'm happy to dialogue with Meredith or you guys or anybody else.
Thank you very much. Okay, Younghee Overly, Indivisible Hawaii, and support Hawaii Women Lawyers, and support Malia Suchia. Hawaii Children's Action Network speaks, and support Kona Indivisible and Matriarchy Rising, and support 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 individuals in support. Ryan Yamane, Department of Human Services, providing comments on Zoom. Department of Human Services?
No present, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. And anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2009?
I would like to
Members,
testify.
any questions? Okay, moving on.
Oh, excuse me, Chair, we have one on Zoom.
Okay, please proceed for HB 2009.
Hi there. I'm Ian Seeley. I helped to draft this bill. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, I strongly support HB 2009. Right now, we have health plans that overlook the only question that really matters, whether a vulnerable person is actually receiving care. If you live with a disabled family member, health plans essentially say, congratulations, quit your job because you are now an unpaid caregiver. DHS doesn't stop to consider the trap that they've set. For these already low-income households, they're on Medicaid, we know this. They are demanding they perform full-time labor without pay, and that leaves only two realistic options. Either you keep paying your bills and you watch your loved one enter costly nursing home care, or you attempt to provide that unpaid care yourself and eventually experience homelessness. That is the trap. This bill here disarms that trap. It forces the state to actually think,
okay,
can this person
Ian
really,
Seeley?
truly take care of that person?
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2009? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. HB 2007, relating to household and dependent care services tax credit. First up, Hawaii Department of Taxation providing comments. Thank you very much. OHA, Office of Hawaiian Affairs, and support Hawaii Public Health Institute, Chris Cofield, and support, and you can slow down because of the testimony.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Aloha, Chris Caulfield from Hawaii Public Health Institute. We're in strong support of this bill. As you know, childcare has become exorbitantly expensive in the state of Hawaii. There have been studies that show that more than childcare can cost more than $24,000 per year on infant care, and in many cases over $2,700 per month. So that means that Hawaii families are spending 13.5% of their income on childcare, which is the highest share in the country. This measure would be a tremendous boost for that. The skyrocketing cost of childcare is not just an economic issue, but a public health concern. As many of the issues that come before you are when taxpayers have to pay more for childcare, then they cut back on a lot of other essential services. We would note that this is essentially a fix to Act 163 from 2023, which increased the amount that taxpayers could claim under the household and dependent care credit, but failed to increase the percentage of expenses that they could claim and didn't adjust the thresholds accordingly. So it severely restricted its impact. But we're in strong support of this bill, and we'd love to see you move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Nicole Wu, Hawaii Children's Action Network speaks. Nicole, oh, you're present in person.
Yes, every now and then I show up in person, Chair.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a strong priority bill for Hawaii Children's Action Network Speaks. We care a lot about families that are struggling to afford to live here, especially with their childcare needs. As Chris said from Hi-Fi, that the legislature and the governor, you all increased the amount that people could claim in this tax credit 3 years ago, but the percent cap is still there. So right now, if you make over $50,000 a year, you can only claim 15% of your care expenses. So a family paying $10,000 for pre-K, which would be cheap, could only get a credit for $1,500 right now. This bill has been amended to actually target it better at lower income families and to make it a cheaper bill. So right now, a family that makes up to $160,000 a year, a family that makes up to $80,000 a year could claim half of their childcare expenses. And then it goes down step by step until a family makes $160,000 and they claim 5% of their expenses. So this is a real targeted way to keep our working families here and
Thank
thriving.
you very much, Nicole. Okay, Devin Thomas, Hawai'i Appleseed, Center for Law and Economic Justice and Support.
Good afternoon, Daniela Soto with Hawai'i Appleseed. We stand on our support.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Mike Wen, Aloha Care in support. Mike, are you present on Zoom?
Not present, Chair.
Okay, next we have Audrey Suga Nakagawa, AARP in support.
AARP stands on its testimony in support.
Thank you. Jean Evans, AAUW in support. Shauna Kahiapo, Prince Kuhio Hawaiian Civic Club in support. Yvette K. Kona, Indivisible and Matriarchy Rising in support. Leilani Keli'i Ikipi in support. Leilani, are you present on Zoom?
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, next we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over 30 people, all in support, nobody in opposition. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2007? Okay, seeing none. Members, any questions? So let's make it over 20 because I didn't count. I rounded off. Okay, moving on. HB 1518, relating to Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. First up, we have Ryan Yamani, Department of Human Services, providing comments.
Hi, Department of Human Services. We stand on our testimony.
Thank you. DCR, Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, in support.
Good afternoon, Chair, Co-Chair, committee members. My name is Christy Yokoyama, and I'm from the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. I stand on written testimony submitted by Director Tommy Johnson in support of House Bill 1518. We have started our pilot program with Department of Human Services at 2 of our facilities, Waialva Correctional Facility and Women's Community Correctional Center. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that pilot. Christine Johnson, Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission, in support. Christine. Okay. McKenna Woodward, Office of Hawaiian Affairs, in support. Benson Medina, County of Hawaii, Department of Research and Development, in support. Chris Cofield, Hawaii Pacific Health Institute, in support.
Aloha again, Chris Caulfield from the Hawaii Public Health Institute. We're in support of this bill. Freedom should not begin without food, yet for too many people, the first steps to reentry are taken on an empty stomach. This proposal would allow would authorize Hawaii to seek federal waiver, federal approval to allow inmates to apply for SNAP benefits before being released from incarceration. And there's studies that show that 91% of individuals recently released from prison experience insecurity, food insecurity, and more than 1/3 report going an entire day without access to food. Giving eligible individuals benefits immediately rather than forcing them to wait weeks to get food security would reduce a critical gap in access to food during reentry, which is already a period that's associated with elevated homelessness, reincarceration, and mortality. Actually, sees quite a spike during that period. There are 13 states that already do this, including states that are as varied as Louisiana and Kansas and Oregon and California. So if we want to prevent recidivism, then we must prevent hunger. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Betty Lou Larson, Catholic Charities of Hawaii, in support. Okay, Kat Brady, Community Alliance on Prisons, in support.
Community Alliance on Prisons is in strong support. We passed this bill. It is a way to help people who are entering.
Thank you. Nicole Wu, Hawaii Children's Action Network, speaks in support. Nicole.
We stand on our written support, written testimony in support of this bill.
Daniela Spoto, Hawaii Appleseed, in support. Daniela, come on up.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Daniela Spoto with Hawaii Appleseed in support of this bill. As others have already said, people returning home from incarceration face especially steep barriers. In particular, food insecurity is rampant among this newly released population, with many reporting that they've gone an entire day without eating because they couldn't afford food. We would not be the first state to implement such a measure, and 13 other states have already implemented these waivers successfully. I also wanted to note that DHS would have until January 1st, 2028, in this current version of the bill, to implement this process, which would give them some ramp-up time for their new eligibility system. Hopefully, by then, it'll be a little bit of less of a barrier for them to get that program up and running. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mike Nguyen, Aloha Care and Support. Mike Nguyen, are you present?
There stands on the testimony and support.
You don't look like Mike.
No.
Okay, not him.
Not in Parsons.
Thank you. Josh Frost, ACLU of Hawaii and Support. Josh?
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair. It's just the two of you now. I'm Josh Frost, ACLU of Hawaii. You have our testimony, and you've heard lots of good reasons why this bill is important. I wanted to highlight that this is one of those rare instances where DCR and ACLU are actually on the same page. That alone, I think, should merit the bill's passage. I also wanted to highlight again the post-dated effective date to give DHS time to continue with the BESD improvements. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lauren Zerbel, Hawaii Food Industry Association. Lauren, are you present?
Not present, Chair.
No, that's Hawaii Food Bank. Okay, Genevieve Muma, Hawaii Hunger Action Network and Support. Genevieve Muma, are you present on Zoom? Oh, you're present person. Thank you. Megan Fox, Malama Kauai and Support. Elia Herman, Hawaii Food Bank. I see on Zoom. Please proceed.
Oops. We stand on our written testimony.
Thank you very much. And Frederick, Hawaii Alliance for Progressive Action and Support. Brandon Kinnard. I'm sorry.
No, we'll stand on our testimony.
She did not look like Ann Frederick. Okay, thank you. It is, okay. Brandon Kinnard, Hawaii Food and Policy, Purple Maia Foundation in support. Okay, Johnny May Perry in support, Marcia Campbell in support, 30 other individuals, all in support. And only Shelby Pikachu, billionaire, Kingdom of Hawaiian Islands and Ohana Unity Party. Are you present on Zoom? Shelby?
Not present, Chair.
Okay. And Agriculture Stewardship of Hawaii, Amanda Shaw in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 1518? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. HB 2208, relating to food security. First up, Betty Lou Larson, Catholic Charities Hawaii. Thank you very much. Hawaii Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity in support.
Hello, Chair and Vice Chair, Randy Yu for the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity.
Thank you very much. Director Yamane, DHS, providing comments. Thank you very much. Benson Medina, County of Hawaii Department of Research and Development and Support. Kealoha Fox, City and County of Honolulu Office of Climate Change, Sustainability and Resiliency in support. Hawaii Children Action Network speaks. Nicole Wu in support. Hawaii Appleseed, Daniela Spoto in support.
Good afternoon again. Daniela Spoto with Hawaii Appleseed. We are in support of this bill. We love this bill because it kind of solves three intertwined problems. So the price of local food, we know this is often out of reach for many local families struggling to afford food. Second, it provides an additional stable market for local farmers and a revenue stream, which will help us reach our doubling our local food production goals by 2030. And finally, it strengthens a critical but often overlooked supply chain, which is the emergency food system, and something that we have seen over and over again in recent years as the rate of climate disasters continue to increase. So we really encourage you to support this bill. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Lauren Zerbel, Hawaii Food Industry Association in support. Lauren?
Not present, Chair.
Are you on Zoom? No. Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau in support. Brian?
Brian Miyamoto on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau will stand on a written testimony in support.
Okay, thank you very much. Hunter Haviland, Hawaii Farmers Union in support. And Frederick in support. Okay, for HAPA. And Agriculture Stewardship Hawaii, Amanda Shaw, are you present on, you're present on person?
Amanda Shaw, Agriculture Stewardship Hawaii, stand
Genevieve Muma, Hawaii Hunger Action Network.
Genevieve will stand on a written testimony
In support. Local Food Coalition in support. Christopher Dean, Clean the Pacific in support. Laurel Greer, Kauai Climate Action Coalition in support. Kapona Chong Hansen, MD of AHA. Hui na Kauka, the Association of Native Hawaiian Physicians in support. Susan B. Roberts, Emory Green Party in support. 350 Hawaii, Sherry Pollack in support. Ulupono Initiative in support. Hawaii Primary Care Association in support. Kahua o Kako Corporation in support. Prince Kuhio Hawaiian Civic Club in support. Okay, I see someone on Zoom. Please proceed. Identify yourself.
Aloha, my name is Melekonea Li'i, speaking on behalf of the Hawaii State Youth Commission in strong support. We stand on our written testimony, but want to highlight that young people feel food insecurity directly in the classroom as difficulty concentrating and increased stress with effects that follow them well past graduation. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Jinto Farms, Susan Cho in support. Hawaii Food Bank, Amy Miller in support. Carlin McFadden. Oh, good.
Hawaii Food Bank should be online. Apologies.
I didn't see them.
They were there earlier with the.
Oh, I see. Hawaii Food Bank. Please proceed.
Hi, aloha, Chair. Sorry, I have a toddler home sick, so I had to do this by Zoom. Thank you so much for the time. As you know, 32% of our households are food insecure, including 100,000 keiki. This bill is really a win-win for farmers and families. Food banks are able to serve as a purchaser of last resort. We can buy B-grade product. We don't care what our menu doesn't change. We're available to purchase whatever is there. So we are a reliable source for farmers, and then connecting households with healthy, nutritious, culturally relevant food that they might not have access to it otherwise. And, I just wanted to point out as well that most recently, I think these Kona low storms are yet another example of how critical and fragile the system is. This is again following the federal shutdown, and Farm to Families ensures that money is in the system to build food systems that are flexible for whatever comes, and that we're equipped as a state, as a community, to take care of everyone and care for our ohana. Mahalo, and thank you for your time.
Hawaii Food and Policy, Purple Maia Foundation in support. Pacific Birth Collective in support. 75 other individuals in support. Maui Food Bank in support. Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center, Andrew Ogata in support. Debbie Zeisman as an individual providing comments. Okay, she was here before, not regarding this. Vivian Hill, Hawaii Youth Food Council Climate Future Forum. I think they provided testimony and support. Hawaii State Youth Commission, Public Health Committee in support. Kingdom of Hawaiian Islands Ohana Unity Party. Shelby Pikachu, are you present?
Not present, Chair.
Nope. Food Basket in support. Anybody else? Nicholas there providing comments. Anybody else wishing to testify on HB 2208? Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. HB 2096, relating to aggravated circumstances in child protective proceedings. First up, Judiciary, Judge Medeiros. No, you're not Judge
Good
Medeiros.
afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair,
Support.
Senator. I'm Andrew Park. I'm a family court judge, and I'll stand on our written testimony in strong support of this judiciary package bill, and I'll be
Thank you
available
very
if you
much.
have questions. Thank you.
Brad Galbraith of Center for the Rights of Abused Children in support. Anybody else testifying on HB 2096? Members, any questions? Can we proceed with this?
Yeah, we have to go conduct the CPN, so let's go.
Okay, so first up, for HB 469, relating to parking for disabled persons, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. We're going to accept DCAB's proposed amendments. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, pass with amendments.
Okay, recommendation is Senate Draft 1, noting the presence of yourself, myself, and Senator Kanuha. All others being excused. Any WRs no. Seeing none, recommendation adopted.
For HB 2488, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. We're going to add number 6 per Peter Fritz's testimony. to include instructions to aggrieved patients on how to file a grievance. Okay, any comments, questions, concerns? Passed with amendments.
Okay, recommendation 2488 HD2 is a Senate Draft 1, noting the excused absence earlier. Any WRs and noes in the members present? Seeing none, recommendation adopted.
For HB 2009, we're going to pass with amendments. We're going to remove sections 2 to 4, and per disability DDC's recommendation, we are going to create a working group. Members are Department of Human Services, Department of Health's DDC Council, Hawaii Disability Rights Council, member of the House, member of the Senate, and technical non-substantive amendments needed for clarity and consistency. Already contains a blank defective date and a blank appropriation.
A bad effective date, right?
It's, yeah, a defective date.
Cool.
Okay.
Blank.
Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, 2009 HD2 recommendation, Senate Draft 1 of the members present. Any WRs or noes? All others being excused, make recommendation adopted.
For HB 2007, we're going to pass this with a defective date of January 1, 2050, and technical non-substantive amendments need for clarity and consistency. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, recommendation 2007 HD3 is Senate Draft 1 of the members present, with all others being excused. Any WRs or noes? Seeing none, recommendation is adopted.
For HB 1518, we're going to note that there's already a pilot program. So we're going to pass this with amendments. We're going to change the effective date at the end of that pilot program, which will be February 28, 2027. So just changing the effective date to February 28, 2027. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, recommendation 1518, House Draft 1 is a Senate draft with a new defective date of the members present. Any WRs or noes? While those being excused, seeing none, recommendation adopted.
With a new effective date of February 28, 27. Okay,
What you
thank
said.
Whatever I said, thank you. HB.
I'm just repeating your recommendation, that's all.
HB 2208. Chair's recommendation is to pass this with amendments. We're going to just change it to include an effective date of upon approval and an amendment of reports being required to be due prior to the 2029 and 2030 session, except for Section 2 to be effective on July 1, 2028. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, recommendation on 2208, House Draft 1 is a Senate draft of the members present. Any WRs or noes? Seeing none, recommendation has been adopted.
And for HB 2096, we're going to change this to pass with an effective date of upon approval. Any comments, questions, concerns? Pass with amendments. Chair
Okay.
votes aye.
Recommendation on 2096, HD2 is a Senate draft of the members present. Any WRs or noes? With all those being excused, seeing none, recommendation is adopted.
And with that, the HHS only calendar is adjourned.
Hello, Mike Kako, and good afternoon. Mahalo for joining today's AEN-HHS-EDT hearing. It's Wednesday, March 25th, and we're convening in room 225 in video conferencing, which includes the audio and video of remote participants. It's being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that this hearing is cut short, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business on Friday, March 25th at 3:01 p.m. in CR 224 during AEN's time slot. And because of we're running a little bit late here, we'll be having a 1-minute time limit for your testimony, and there'll be a virtual countdown on the Zoom. So we have one measure, and that's HB 1618 HD1, establishing and appropriates funds for a cesspool conversion, revolving loan fund to be administered by the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority to provide financial assistance, including low interest or forgivable loans to eligible homeowners for the upgrade, conversion, or connection of cesspools. First up is Department of Health.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committee. John Nagato, Department of Health. The department stands on its written testimony in support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. DLNR. Kelly Sagum. Not here in support. Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority, Gwen. Thank you. PUC, Johnny Tamura. Thank you. Mary Alice Evans with OPSD. In support. Aloha Fox from City and County of Honolulu, Climate Change and Sustainability and Resiliency.
Aloha chairs, vice chairs, members of the committee, Aloha Fox for the Mayor's Office of Climate Change, Sustainability and Resiliency and the City and County of Honolulu's Chief Resilience Officer. We stand in strong support of our written testimony. We're here for any questions. Mahalo.
Thank you. Lindsay Garcia from Hawaii Realtors. In support. Ted Boland, Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition.
Thank you, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Ted Boland on behalf of the Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition in strong support. I think everybody here knows that cesspool upgrades are very expensive, and this bill is about making it more affordable. We're going to need loans. We're going to need help to do this financially, and this bill would provide some through the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority. It's particularly targeted toward low and moderate income people. I know the chairs of this committee have a lot of low-income people, or low and moderate income people with cesspools in their districts. So it's very important for these particular districts to do the upgrades to pass this bill. I would particularly note that Hawaiian Paradise Park has a number of cesspools that are affected by concentration of cesspools around their drinking water wells. So there are people who are with some health issues that could come out of this, and it's very important for us to get those people loans. It's not about 2050. I know we've had discussion about in the past whether we should move the mandate forward or back. There will be people who will need to upgrade in the meantime. And the other thing I wanted to add to my written testimony is we've seen this week that we've got the Kona storms, and there's a lot of people walking around in waste that's from overflowing cesspools. So cesspools really need to be upgraded, not just in 2050. Thank you very much.
Ted. Next is Jessica Paisley from Y. Stuart.
Aloha chairs, vice chairs, and committee members. Stuart Coleman from VI, and wanted to stand on our written testimony, but just add that not only will this bill help low-income homeowners, but it will make us eligible for federal loans. And it will start with kind of revolving fund loans, but once it's successful, we can also start to bring in grants to help low-income homeowners. So it's really a win-win situation. Mahalo, and will be available for questions.
Thank you, Stuart. Mihoko Ito from Hawaii Bankers Association on Zoom.
Not present, Chair.
Okay, anyone else wishing to testify on this measure?
Chair.
Please.
Aloha chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committees. My name is Hannah Lisiak, and I'm testifying on behalf of the Ocean Legislative Task Force in strong support of this measure. One of our core priorities this legislative session, and has been for many years, is cesspool conversion and wastewater management. We currently have over 83,000 unconverted cesspools in the state, and one of the largest barriers to this is cost. And I think that this measure would greatly help with that. I also wanted to mention one small recommendation for this measure, that we kindly ask that the effective date be modified to effective upon approval by the governor, so that the City and County of Honolulu can add funds immediately to fast track more cesspool conversions. Our task force represents over 150 individuals across over 20 organizations, and we thank you for hearing this measure. Mahalo.
Thank you. Anyone else? Department of Health. Please come forward. I got a question. So I think we all know the dire need for doing something about cesspools, and I think in You know, the cost for converting traditional septic or to septic or aerobic systems, it can be in the tens of thousands of dollars. So in previous testimony on the cesspool bills, it was brought up about innovative wastewater technologies. It would be less costly. So is DOH looking into any of those technologies with the aim of approving them or checking them out?
Yes, John Nagato, Department of Health Wastewater Branch. So besides septic tanks, aerobic tanks, we do look at passive systems that accomplish aerobic treatment. They can be somewhat more affordable because they use their type of sizing criteria. It's a little bit smaller sometimes than what DOH allows for regular absorption beds, which are bigger. So that can bring the cost down, and we are familiar with the technologies out there. And,
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other questions?
Sure.
Go ahead. Sorry. No.
I got a question. Oh, sorry. I still never get an answer. So can you let me know in my district of Ever Beach, which we are about 10, 15 miles away, we have a lot of old cesspools. Still never get on data on how much pollution that are cesspools that is leaking into the ocean that is causing potential health issues. And I've been bringing it up at the city council as the same thing. We don't have anything. You guys are talking about these loans, like the people in my community is 21 years old. They're in the 80s and probably up. They're not gonna afford a loan. And if they don't do it on a certain time, and the other person said we're gonna do them upon approval, what's gonna happen to my families in the community that cannot afford to even do it or even try to make a loan? So are they gonna keep fining them if they don't do them in a timely manner? Another issue that I have with, not just with the Department of Health, with the city and county, is that a lot of the families that did extensions or they grow their house. And the city and county and the Department of Health said, hey, you gotta put on septic tank. Cost them $40,000, $60,000 to do it for their home. Guess what the Department of Health said and Department of Environmental Services said? You still gotta tie into the sewer. Where is that equal medium that these guys did spend all this money into the house to make the extension for their family? Now the septic tank is gonna be no longer accepted. So I'm not sure if you guys' criteria it is or it's the city's criteria, but something has to change. People that have made the conversions from the cesspool because they had to would be something that I really would you guys look into, because it's not fair to my community that's aging. None of my people in my community that lives in the district wants it. I understand the beach side, Puakapuna, Ever Beach Road area, maybe you gotta figure something out, but none of the people in my community on this side where I live can afford it. And that's something we tied in a long time ago, Leeward District, but the other sides didn't. And they're not gonna be able to afford it. This was like 30 years ago, you know? And they don't, again, you gotta use a licensed plumber. You cannot do them like we did it. We did it for ourselves. We filled up our cesspool, right? We took it all the way to the road, and then we had a licensed plumber tie it in. All of that is no-no now. See? So again, how are you gonna accommodate to people that cannot really afford to get one loan, and you're gonna go to the bank to say yes, but they actually gonna tell you no? How you think that animosity and how they gonna feel that they cannot do these conversions, and the burden gonna be put upon them if they don't get fined? You know? I don't know if you can answer all that, maybe the city can, I don't know.
There's a lot of parts to that. I'm not sure which parts
That's all right,
to
I'm
answer.
Portuguese.
I want to answer, I mean, the financial part, like everybody is saying, is the difficult part. And that's why hopefully this bill, these loans that are going out with this program will be lower than what somebody can get at a bank. You know, that's the intent, is that people can get loans that are, you know, much more beneficial to them than trying to go to the bank, because the bank rates are not affordable for people, or they can't even get qualified for it. So, yeah, I mean, that is an issue. The part about what is required and not is, you know, we have state regulations, and we do require them to connect to a city sewer or county sewer when it's available. So that is something that both ENV and the state or the county that we're in has to answer together. And that's what we're trying to find out too, where they want a sewer and they can bring the sewer, we do support them connecting to the sewer system. But if they don't have a sewer system or they're not planning to, then individual wastewater systems do need to be upgraded. So it can be a difficult, the burden and the financial responsibility does fall on the homeowner when they stay on a cesspool that needs to be upgraded. That's the difficult part. individual wastewater systems.
Okay, maybe the city and county of Honolulu. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chairs, members of the committee. Kaloha Fox, Executive Director for the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency for the City and County of Honolulu. I completely agree with you. Right now, we're trying to find a mechanism that we can support, especially through my office, seeing that there are 8,000 cesspools on the island of Oahu. 1,000 of those are in projected sea level rise areas. I want to make sure that we're doing something right now. And so I have $625,000 right now in our city's climate resiliency fund that I would absolutely like to have a mechanism, part of this, the beginnings of what a revolving loan fund would be. You're absolutely right, Senator. Right now, all of the cost is on our residents, and we have to find a financial suite of solutions to be able to offer our residents and our homeowners in every single one of our districts. For the island of Oahu, we're trying to start where we can. I've submitted an appropriation request through Mayor Blangiardi's executive operating budget for FY27 for another $950,000 so that we can continue to work with the state and we can combine the state and the city efforts to make sure that we start somewhere and that we can have a pilot program that starts to make these conversions. And I can say that the Department of Environmental Services, from my understanding, is conducting an assessment through the end of this year. And it's those types of details that I think we're all looking forward to understanding of what's going to be the requirements for each of the homeowners and the residents.
The reason why I bring you up is because when they had started this whole cesspool conversion, because the state had made a mandate to upgrade, my community was chosen. And there's the nearest cesspool or the nearest sewer line is miles away from homes. So there's going to be a lot of costs that the city going to pay that's going to probably go back to the homeowner and the people that's going to do them. So what is your guys' solution? Because I still never hear nothing from anybody else, that the ones did the upgrades and made the septic tanks, are they going to be grandfather clauses that they don't have to tie in? Or are they still going to have to go tie in to the sewer when they bring the sewer in to it? Some of the easements, the cesspool outfall is in the back of the house. Yeah? So that's going to be a lot of cost, regardless if you guys have money to do it. Again, how are we going to subsidize a lot of families, including on Ever Beach Road, that took the environmental services and the Department of Health and converted, because they came to the neighborhood board, we had to vote on it, if we was going to accept them to build a septic tank to upgrade the cesspool, and it was voted through, and they did it. But now they're telling those homeowners, regardless if you have a septic tank, you got to tie into the sewer. And that's another thing that I have a problem with. So something that we need to do here or there or someplace to make sure that theirs are not going to have any impact because they have septic, and they got to get them pumped, whatever the situation is. But that's something that you guys got to consider, because my community is 110% against the conversion, because if you know where the community stay of Ever Beach, we're miles away from Puakapuna and Ever Beach Road. But Hancock decided to say that he was going to do that area. And there's no justification, because nobody can tell us how much of the cesspools are leaking, right? With the sea level rise up and down, how much of them is pumping per month, right? How much of that is happening? Nobody can give them an answer, but they're just saying that we're going to get loans and we're going to help you guys do this, yeah? And again, it's really burdensome. So I think we got to come up with a plan to figure out how we're going to accommodate those families that had put in there, because our families cannot afford buying homes. So they converted their house so the kids could live with them, and now they're going to be penalized after spending $40,000 to $60,000 for the septic tank. So if you guys can take that back, Baba, I'll reach out to you guys later. But thank you, Chair, for your time. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Mahalo, Senator.
We got 8 more minutes for this room. Just letting you know, we only have 8 more minutes for this room.
It's going to be super fast. You guys are putting money into this bill? I've heard that correctly, city and county?
We have monies right now that have been allotted through a fiscal year 26 appropriation through the Honolulu City Council for cesspool conversions. And this process would allow us to be able to work with the state once the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority has the mandate and the ability to create this revolving loan
I'm a
fund.
little concerned about that because revolving funds usually systemic. It's not a one-time appropriation or future appropriation. And so, again, she and I have talked about on-bill financing, which is the genesis of this, was run through municipalities, the property taxes. So as this bill moves forward, I'm running out of time. You may want to look at something like that to where there's a systemic property tax attachment from the city and county of Honolulu so the revolving fund can truly be sustainable and revolving. Thanks, chairs. I'm done.
Thanks, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We'll take a brief recess for decision-making. Okay, having deferred with the other chairs, the chair's recommendation is to pass HB 1618 with technical amendments. Any discussion? Chair votes aye for AEN.
Only technical amendments, right? Okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
Oh, go ahead. Do you note in the committee report that the issues with the viability of the revolving fund, to have the next committee look at it?
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, just for record. So,
I'm in the middle of a vote.
no discussion, right? So-
Right, discussion, yeah.
So as chair, just for discussion, I said, one is, we have challenges with the EDT committee. I also sit on the Ag committee, so it doesn't look well as EDT cannot move this measure because we don't have the support behind it. So if you're calling for the vote, let's call for the vote. My vote would have to be a no vote. This bill will not make it. So
Okay.
vote.
We could, another option is to defer decision-making to 310.
Everybody's got it.
310.
Yeah, everybody's gone, dude.
No, but HHS can make a decision now.
But EDT is missing.
So for AEN, chair votes aye. Vice Chair?
On House Bill 1618, House Draft 1.
Correct.
Passing with amendments, chair votes aye, vice chair votes aye. Senator DeCoit?
No.
Senator Rhodes? Aye. Senator Awa is excused. Chair, you have 3 in favor.
You got to take the vote.
Motion is adopted.
Okay, for HHS, same recommendation. Chair votes aye. Pass with amendments.
Recommendation is to pass with amendments. Senate Draft 1, noting the excuse of Senator Keokulole.
That's it.
I don't care because I'm not get committee.
Any other members voting WRs or no? Although the president saying none. Oh, no for Senator Favela. Any other WRs or no? Econ recommendation for HHS has been adopted.
None for AEN.
Committee on Economic Development and Tourism, as you can see, we are strapped with just 2 of us. And for those reasons, I would have to defer the bill because we don't have a slot in place to do it.
And the deadline.
And the deadline, just don't have a quorum right now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're good? We are adjourned.